YouTubers, and welcome to another episode of Odd and Old Tech. Today we're going to be looking at the drive that I'm looking at right here, and you're probably thinking, well, it's a floppy drive. It's old. It's not odd. It's not special. What's this video about? Well, as well as being a floppy drive and reading standard 1.4 megabyte discs, it will also read these. This is a 120 megabyte SuperDisk, and this is a SuperDisk drive. These came in two variations. There is a 120 megabyte model, which is what I have here, and there was also a 240 megabyte model, which I can't find anywhere, but apparently they're very rare because they were only manufactured in Australia and the likes of that, where it was more popular. The SuperDisk drive didn't really take off in America and parts of Europe because the iOmega zip drive was already out, and that was the sizes of those discs were bigger, and it was just the SuperDisk just came out a bit late, really. As I say, iOmega zip discs were in the 200 megabyte range and such, and this came out in the middle of that, so people just weren't interested. There were three companies that included SuperDisk drives. I believe they were Compaq, Dell, and possibly Apple for a very short time, I think. But there was a lot of complaints with people using these with Apple machines because it wouldn't read some older floppy disks that were formatted in a certain way. So it was sort of unpopular there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the drive in action. So here we have the SuperDisk, but I think first we should pop my old Norton Ghost disk in and see if this thing still works. I haven't used this in ages. This was from Windows 2000 when I had a machine that had a USB and a DVD drive, and I needed the drivers so that Ghost could access it. So let's give this a go. I've just sort of popped the drive in a old tape drive enclosure. It's hooked up by USB. There's a USB thing in the back that I've just sort of shoved in there, and I've soldered the switch on here. So in order for me to get this to work, I need to turn it on first. Then I need to just go down and plug the USB cable in. Excuse me a moment. If I can find the slot, that would be nice. There we go. Okay, so now I can pop the disc in. Okay. So we just need to wait for it to appear. It will appear. It does take its time. Okay, fair enough. Call me a liar. Okay, let me just move the camera. Right, so here we go. Didn't really give it a name, I guess. Back when I was using it, just untitled. How original. Okay, and it still works. It still has all the files on there that I had on there. That is pretty nice. USB driver there. I think that was the DVD driver. Oh, okay, I remember how I had this. I created a script to run. This would be the script. And it would load the drivers, and then I would have to put in the second disc, which actually has Norton Ghost on it, because Ghost isn't on this one. No, that's the mouse driver, I think. Keyboard. Yeah, so this actually works quite nicely. I haven't used this in years, and it's all still there. So, nice. So, I'll just eject that. It seems as well that I can't write to it. No, I can't write anything to it. Let's have a look though. Information. Okay, so it's untitled, it's MS-DOS FAT12, and of course it's 1.5 megabytes with 700 kilobytes free. Wow, those were the days. Nice. Okay, so The drive has its own eject mechanism, so if I just eject it on the Mac, there we go. And the disc just pops right out. Let me just put the camera back in my other hand. Okay. Nice. Oh yeah, there we go, disc 1. Yeah, so this has the drivers on it, and then Ghost is on another floppy disk somewhere. Okay, so the SuperDisk is basically the same. It's just a floppy disk that's able to hold 120 megabytes of information. It's that simple. It was formatted in the old Mac format. I can't remember what it was. I think it was just Mac OS. There was no journaled or case sensitive or anything like that, so I had to format it in Mac OS Extended, journaled, and it worked fine. It can be formatted in Windows as well, and it will work just fine. So let's pop it in. As you can hear, these SuperDisks do make a bit more noise, but that's fine. And here we go, it appears here just as it would. I do have some files on there already. Now let me just look away and delete those for a moment, because I want to show the copying some files onto it. So let me just delete what's on there. Okay, so here we have a 120.7 megabytes disk, and what I'll do is I'm just going to copy some audio on there that a friend of mine has made, just so I don't trigger YouTube copyright. So I think I'll just copy this, and as the file's copying, you'll hear the drive make some noise. Not the standard floppy drive noise we're all used to hearing. And there it's done. That took a bit, takes a bit longer, as you'd expect. You know, any type of drive like this is not going to be super quick, but as well as the drive not being the fastest thing ever, it surprisingly plays audio or media from it quite well. So let's give this a go. And there you have it. So that went quite well. When I was trying this out yesterday, I tried to play a different MP3 file. Not going to do that here because YouTube copyright. And it stuttered a little bit, and I kind of expected that, to be honest. It didn't happen here, which was great. So that's that I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, I think although it will play media, as you've just seen, quite fine, I think it's open to a little bit of lag, I guess you could say. So yeah, so it went quite well, and I suppose that's pretty much all there is to show in this video, really. It's just a beefed up floppy drive that will come in handy. I'm going to use this. I don't sort of buy these things for the hell of it, because, you know, if it's just going to be shown in a video and then put away, I don't see the point. So yeah, so I got two other discs sort of hiding there. So I've got about 120, 240. Yeah, I've got enough for the project I want to do. And then there's the orb drive that I've done in another video. I really need to get proper enclosures because the tape drive enclosure is actually this thick, like across, and I've sort of butchered it and just covered it up. So yeah, it's the same process to eject as well. Let me just quit. Oh, there's my phone going off. Oh, that can wait. Okay. Same process to eject. And then it takes a second while it just closes everything down. And then it pops out. There is a button on the front, but I don't see a use for that when I can just do it from the computer. Windows is the same. There's eject sort of function when you right click on the drive icon, so maybe this is like a, I mean there is a hole here, maybe this is like an emergency eject if somehow the drive gets hung up trying to do something and the disk doesn't come out. So yeah, it's quite thin. Let me look at the standard. I suppose it would be the same thickness. That wouldn't make sense, would it? Let's have a look. Yeah, relatively the same. Oh no, the floppy disk is thicker. Okay then, that's pretty cool. I don't think the SuperDisk has any. Oh yes, it does. There's a write protect. Write protect. Oh, there it is. Little write protect switch. That's cool. So yeah, that's about it for the SuperDisk drive. This is a Imation drive because I didn't know what the little logo was, but I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's like a gold version of this logo sort of here. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, that about wraps it up for the 120 megabyte SuperDisk drive. Hope you enjoyed the video and it maybe sort of bit of insight into some old technology. So we had floppy drives, we've had SuperDisk drives, we've had zip disks and orb drives and other sorts of technology that actually are still reliable to this day.